going to do a video on muting. Do you think you can be quiet while I do this? Do you think you can be quiet while I do this video, Duchess? I'm asking her, see if she'll be quiet. Will you be quiet? You going to be quiet while I do the video, Duchess? Maybe? You be quiet? I'm not confident that she will be. No? She said maybe. So I didn't cover muting in my last videos because I'm just not a good teacher, but I'm learning. But muting is very important. Muting is one of the things that people like Eddie Van Halen, Jimmy Page, Nuno Bettencourt, all those guys do. They all, something on my face that itches. I just can't get the hang of these things. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Muting is very different when you have a fixed bridge, like on the Stratocaster, and you have a floating bridge, Floyd Rose, on the other guitars. Floating systems and fixed bridges will change your muting a lot, the way you mute your strings. You can't put your hand on that one because it changes the pitch of the strings, and this one you can lay your hand right on, which makes it a lot easier. We're going to talk about muting today. Muting is very important when playing electric guitar. It's also important when you're playing rhythm, lead, whatever. And I should have covered this in my last lesson with bar chords, because muting bar chords is the coolest thing in rock and roll. And every single band does it. Just like what I played with Zeppelin and Van Halen, muting chords is super, super important. I remember in the 7th grade when I learned, in the days of my youth, I was told what it means to be a man. I thought it was so cool because of that muting. Because I'd never done it before. And muting, where you put your hand, is super, super important. So that's something you need to work on. And you need to work on it with everything. Even when you're doing clean chords, clean stuff, there's still an amount of muting that goes in there. See how I'm kind of mildly muting some stuff? It just inherently works well with the bottom of your hand here to mute. That's pretty much, you can't mute with your elbow. That would be hard. So I guess you have to use the palm of your hand. But there's some songs like Guns N' Roses' Welcome to the Jungle, where part of the song is muted, part of it's not, you know? Hear that? So what I want you to do is I want you to do some exercises with this. Take the palm of your hand and gently put it against the bridge of your guitar. And you can tell when you mute too much, because it just doesn't do anything. That's full mute. That's nothing. This is open. So what I want you to do is, excuse me, I want you to, this burped on. I just burp right in the middle of my video. What I want you to do is I want you to take your hand, while you're muting this, work on that first lick from my first lesson I showed you, the Hendrix A lick, the A blues. Just take the very first root of it and mute each note. You can tell the difference in non-muting and muting. No mute. And then mute. Don't just practice in the lower registers. Practice it up here too. Nuno Bettencourt does some really cool. What you can do is you can just take a regular E box, E major scale, and mute the bottom notes of it. It's really good exercise, because when it comes to playing lead and having different inflection and sounding different, the muting is some of the most important. Hear the mute at the end. Muting all through that, very important. So here's a rhythm you can do to practice your muting. It's Zeppelin, A Whole Lot of Love. It's just 2 notes, E string 3rd dot, B note, A string 2nd dot, D note, and you just slide them each one twice, and then the E bar chord, and you're droning the E as you're hitting your E chord from on your A string 3rd dot, D string 4th dot. Little triad like we worked on with bar chords, and you're hitting your E string, you're droning your E string in this. Droning, hitting it open. So it's mute, mute. Get it? You need beauty, I'm not fooling. Way down inside, I'm gonna be like a fool, yeah. Anyway, but it's important. Muting is very important, and even when you get further along and you're learning a lot about leads and stuff, muting is so cool. It changes the texture of your tone of playing, and it's just such a really cool thing. And your pick doesn't have as much to do with it. Your right hand is super important. But your picking doesn't have as much to do with muting, because you can mute with your pick too. I'm muting a little each note. That's muting. That's my lesson on muting. And keep sending them to me. Thank you for your comments and everything, and your subs and all that. I appreciate it. And I will have another lesson for you soon.